go make money.
Today's episode of A Couple of Bettors is brought to you by Moneyline Limousine Services. Whether you find yourself in Sin City or you're a Vegas local, choose Moneyline Limo.
Moneyline, it's all about the vibes. Take your friends around in style in their newly updated party buses.
Whether it's a hotel to dinner reservations on the Strip, for a wedding, pool parties, corporate event, or our personal favorite, a ride to a sporting event, Moneyline has you covered.
Visit their user-friendly site at www.moneylinelimo.com to book your sick ride today.
Mention Couple of Bettors podcast, receive 25% off of any ride that's 3 hours or more. All right, let's move on to today's episode. What's up, everybody? Couple of Bettors coming at you, episode 36. Thanksgiving weekend coming up here. A lot of good football to be watched. We actually just came up with a really good betting weekend, so that's a good one. We'll get into that. But other than that, F1's behind us, right? So that's not a disturbance anymore.
Can't see you and I like it that way, though. It's okay.
She wears a hat and she puts it right in front of me. So.
I didn't realize that till now, but it's not bad.
Hey, look, next step's a burqa. What do we think?
No, you just need to look at the Bills' beautiful symbol for the next half hour while we talk.
Yep. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way as the Jets got pounded by the Bills.
Yes, it went my way. Good job, Mafia. You did what you're supposed to do. Woo, woo.
Well, let's get right into it, actually. Speaking of which, let's face it, people in the news, players in the news, coaches, owners, so on and so forth. Starting out with Zach Wilson, who's probably played his last down as a New York Jet. His time has come to an end, and what a roller coaster it's been as a Jets fan to watch this just awful quarterback play. And we're always forever hopeful, and we thought maybe he'd get it together. He did not. So, right now, unfortunately, we move on to Tim Boyle. And we'll talk about that as we talk about the Jets game. But, I feel bad for the kid. Look at all the quarterbacks that go through the Jets organization that basically they fail them, right? I mean, Darnold, you just...
Darnold. I don't know. Zach does not really...
Mark Sanchez.
Zach has not been taking responsibility for a lot of... I don't think anybody feels that bad for him because he behaves the way he does. He acts like... Yeah, no, this isn't my fault. He did
last year. This year I think he matured. He just played like shit.
He fell walking backwards onto the field.
That was embarrassing.
That was embarrassing. And they, my favorite part of all this is they announced that they were putting him to the third string backup and putting Boyle in as number one, immediately after the game. They maybe went to sleep for a couple hours and it was we're announcing it. He's done.
He's going to be released. You don't put him to be the number 3 quarterback unless you're moving on from him and he's not going to play again. But yeah, I mean Trevor Siemian's going to be the backup. People are saying, wait a minute, we signed this guy Trevor Siemian. He's actually started in the league. How come he's not playing right now? Why is it Tim Boyle? Well, it all matters about what language you speak and what offense you learned. And Tim Boyle's been in this offense with Hackett, with Green Bay for a while. And so, he has the advantage here. So Siemian, doesn't really fully know the offense yet. So that's why he's in there. So it sucks, but we're moving on. And we're moving on. Now the Jersey guy.
Oh, yes. Sorry. We have Tommy DeVito. I mean, the man we just made fun of him from right out the gate, but he actually did pretty well last week.
He did.
I don't know, last Sunday, whatever you want to call it, but he threw for 246 yards and he got 3 touchdowns against the Commanders. Commanders aren't terrible. You'll see we're putting our money on them this Thanksgiving. We'll explain to you that, but it's pretty good, and he likes to attribute it to the Jersey juice. So let the man be Jersey. He is Jersey through and through, and he looked better than Zach Wilson did, that's for sure. So
yeah,
good luck to Tommy DeVito.
I love it when they were going through his bio about what are your things that you like, favorite movie, favorite, and all that was so Jersey.
Oh, so Jersey.
They said, what's your favorite food? He goes, chicken parmesan with the alla vodka sauce. So
okay.
He knows, he wears the gold chain, but good for that guy. He has more touchdowns than fucking Zach Wilson.
I just said he's already done better than Zach Wilson.
But it's just he had a couple games. It's embarrassing. So.
Yes, it's exactly where your point is.
Mm-hmm.
This is just very brief. Darius Leonard was released by the Colts. He only played 3 games last season, and then he was out due to a back injury. So he came back this season, and apparently he wasn't happy with his role. The Colts weren't really happy with the role he was trying to play, and so they just got rid of him. As of today, he's Wednesday, day before Thanksgiving, he was all cleared to be a free agent. So some of these teams, they're saying the Cowboys might look into him, which that's just terrible. But I thought the worst part was the man found out literally minutes before he showed up to give out free turkeys through his foundation for, like, I don't know, some kind of Thanksgiving, food distribution thing. So that sucks, and they interviewed him right there, like, so. Yeah,
what do you?
And I was like, well, I guess I wanted off the team. I didn't know it was going to happen right now, but, so that was interesting. That's a little change in the plans for the Colts.
Business can be rough. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, Matt Canada, offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was let go, and this is the first time in 82 years that they let go a senior coach in that organization. They usually like stability there, but Mike Tomlin said, "Look, it's a results-oriented business. They're not doing well. Their record is good, so I think they're like, look, we need to get a little spark going on offense. We need to score some touchdowns." And Matt Canada wasn't doing it for him, so they moved on. And last up, we got Jim Irsay. Jim Irsay is like, I feel like, and let's face it, he's in there every other week. He's always got something going on with this guy. But today, I guess it was today, he was being interviewed about something, and I don't know how it came up, but they bring up his arrest in 2014. He has a DUI arrest, and he says the only reason why he was arrested is because the police were prejudiced against white billionaires. So it's got to be rough out there to be a poor white billionaires.
Poor white
got to be rough. Man. So sorry, Jim Irsay, from the rest of us in the world to you as a white billionaire. You deserve better.
Yes, definitely.
And it wasn't that you were under the influence.
Absolutely not.
No, it's nothing to do with it. What a whack job. All right. Moving on. How do we do betting? We kind of crushed it. 64% hit rate. Only bet 12 units and won 9.4. I mean, you can't really have a better result from a units wagered versus the net P&L on that one.
Well, I do want to clarify. I forgot somehow to put my Steelers and Chargers bet in.
True.
And thank God, because those would have actually lost me money. So anybody that followed me, I'm sorry. I feel bad also. But I had a little fun oopsie where it didn't go through. I had no idea what happened this first time. So my end total should have been a little lower than it is, but actually no money went in.
I did count it against our hit rate, so the hit rate is reflected with the 64%, but I hit 6 out of 7 bets, kind of crushed. Now, look, I'll be honest with you folks, if you think it's that easy, I did some other side betting going along with people. Okay, I got this college football bet. You want to bet it with me? Oh, sure, I'll bet it with you. Lost. Hey, I got this one. Lost. Oh, and then all of a sudden I'm drinking. Let me bet the Jets last minute. Okay, lost. Didn't put it on here. This is what we show you that we're going to bet, so... But other than that, though, a lot of winners.
Yep. I do want to. My Raiders money line. I hope you all watched that game. That was this close to hitting. I only put $10 on it. It was not. Yeah. But just to be clear, the Dolphins are still frauds. They almost lost to the Raiders. The Raiders just barely lost in Miami to the Dolphins. I could have won out on that money line, and I would have been throwing myself a party right now, saying how right I am at everything. But I do want to just clarify, it was very, very close.
Without Jalen Ramsey, they might not have won. I mean, he had 2 interceptions that were great picks. So, good thing that the Dolphins picked him up because they really kind of bailed him out. But scoring 20 points, look, they had 400 yards probably on offense, which is probably a disappointing game for the Dolphins. You think they're going to have a lot more as a number 1 offense. But yeah, only 20 points. So
very close. All right.
Injury report. Oh, first one, Joe Burrow. That's a rough one, huh? Out for the season. That sucks. Wrist problems. We saw it. They said it looked like he mouthed that something popped. Apparently it did. So he's out for the season, which sucks. And that's going to be, I mean, it's good for the Bills. It's good for the Chiefs, right? It's good for those folks that have to run through that to get to the, the
this
Super Bowl.
is one of the more notable, quarterback injuries. Everybody just knows the Bengals are done for the season. They're gonna have to just get through. I mean, honestly.
Well, do you say the same thing about the Browns because Deshaun Watson is out, or do you go like, well, they kind of can win games because that defense is so damn good,
I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah,
because they didn't have a good record to start with. Joe Burrow was hurt
that's true.
for the first couple games. Then, of course, he pretty much played without any injury, only against the Bills, of course, and was able to win. And then right after that, he gets hurt in the middle of the next game. And this is what happens with the Bills. But, and then we have the whole Portnoy lawsuit, idea that he may have been injured prior to the game and no one said anything. And Portnoy had, what,
120 grand.
120 grand, 6 figures on the Bengals winning, and now he's suing all of NFL, all season. Somebody had to say something. It could also have been this kind of like, I guess, wrist thing you wear if you're like drawing on a tablet.
Would seem so coincidental though that he has the wrist thing for the tablet
and then pops his wrist. But I mean, no lawsuit's going to be won. You could just say they look the same, whether it was a brace or the little wrist thing. It's like, see, it's a wrist thing. It was the thing for the tablet. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, that was kind of fun to watch, but not the injury. I'm not saying that. Just the whole fight about gambling and injury reports being falsified and all that stuff. So.
The interesting, suspicious part was that the Bengals social media team posted them getting off the plane or whatever, and it had that little wrist thing, and then everyone started talking about it on Twitter, and then they deleted it. Mm-hmm. So if you thought it was just that's the thing he wears for his iPad, why would you delete the thing?
Because you're like, crap, people are talking about it as if he's hurt in the middle of the, like they just don't want any negative attention towards their own quarterback. Who knows? That all happened if you were living under a rock this last football week.
So a couple quick ones, for the Seahawks and the game that's coming up tomorrow, Seahawks, Niners. Geno is questionable, as well as a running back, Kenneth Walker III. That's something to watch out for. I'm not sure if they're going to be playing. And then other ones, Jets have a hobbled offensive line, so we're trying to get Mekhi Becton back. He was kind of limping around while he was at practice today, but he was trying. He's trying to get back for Friday. It's a Black Friday game. We'll see what happens. But then you have others. Derek Carr, questionable. The two Rams receivers, Nakua and Kupp.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Both questionable.
And the Rams are bad on their own. They don't need those two losses. So please don't put your money on the Rams. That's just bad.
Yeah, and Justin Jefferson, which they thought was going to be back this week, it's still questionable, so they don't know. Mm-hmm. And then this is the one you brought up, right? Dallas Goedert for the Eagles is going to be out Sunday.
Out Sunday, but they said just this Sunday he'll be back afterwards. Okay. I mean, hey, I'll take it, but we still have Knox out. He's going to be out for a while.
But I think he's
trying to come back.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not looking. There hasn't been anything definite yet with him. So, I want Knox back.
All right, let's actually move on to the games and start out with Thanksgiving games. So we'll roll through 3 of them, and we got a special parlay for you guys. If you wanted to put that in there, make your Thanksgiving a little more fun. You're going to be drinking, you're going to be having a booze, having a turkey. Might as well make it a little extra fun and gamble that money. So start out with Packers-Lions. Always the Lions on Thanksgiving.
Well, no, because they lost to the Bills last year.
But they play on Thanksgiving.
They always play on Thanksgiving, yes. But they did lose to the Bills last year. And I just also want to remind everybody that the Bills also played the Cowboys 2 years previously and won that game. Should have put us back on this Thanksgiving, but that's okay. That's okay.
I actually saw a stat. Josh Allen was the only quarterback to win in all 3 time slots on Thanksgiving. I don't know why that matters for anything, but okay.
That's my boy. So anyways, we're taking the Lions on this one. I mean, the Lions are good. The Packers are sneaky good. So we're taking the Lions.
Yeah, we're taking the Lions.
The Packers are, not doing that well. Lions obviously doing very well. They're probably going to be, they're definitely going to be in the playoffs, possibly a Super Bowl contender. But if you are a very, very superstitious bettor, there is a statistic out there, and we're not listening to it, but that the Lions are 0-12 on Thanksgiving when the moon is in waxing gibbous phase. tomorrow the moon will be in that phase. So maybe they'll lose. It's just, I don't know if you can lose to the Packers and not cover this -7.5 spread. No. Yes, if it was against the Bills, I'd say surefire they're going to lose, or any other decent team, not the Packers. So put your money on the Lions, people.
Yeah, I agree with it. I mean, the Packers won a home game against the Chargers, who have not really beaten anybody good, and they barely beat them by a field goal. The Lions are just, they have too much talent. Too much talent.
I have a lot of talent. I do love betting on them, too. So. Yep. Go Lions.
Go Lions. Next one might be a little controversial for all you Cowboys fans out there. Listen,
I like putting my money on the Cowboys.
I do too.
But this time, the spread at 13.5 against the Commanders, who I don't look at as a good team. No. But Sam Howell he fights. I like that. He's a little scrappy,
Definitely.
And he can kind of Josh Allen sometimes with push people away. He's good to watch. The Cowboys are definitely going to win this game, but there is a good chance that they're not going to win by 13.5, and you can make some money off the Commanders in that sense. I would not bet the Commanders money line at all, but 13.5 is a high spread. It's a good spread, so we're taking the Commanders on this one.
Yep. I mean, look, the under-over is at 48.5. In order for this bet to hit for us, that the Commanders are going to have to score points because Dallas scores 37 at home every game. But we think that there's, divisional game, almost 2 touchdowns. That seems like you take that one.
Yep.
And also, you can't just bet every favorite on Thanksgiving. You got to pick one dog, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's a good spread. I like that spread.
Well, and then the third game is my lock of the week. San Francisco 49ers traveling to the Seahawks. I'm with the public.
We should allow you to make this a lock of the week because it's the Niners, and they are just always doing so well.
You can make it your double lock if you want it.
No.
Well, look, 82% of the public is on this one, and I'm with the public. I don't care. Gino, I'm hoping that either Gino or the running back are not playing. They're both questionable, but either way, they're not healthy. I just think that the Niners coming off of that big win where Brock Purdy has a perfect quarterback rating, throws for 3 touchdown passes, and they just rolled. And I feel like they were back after those couple losses. And this is one of those divisional games. It's close to them. They're not traveling far, which on Thanksgiving games on a short week actually matters a lot. I'm going on the Niners easily, -7 points. Get it now while it's hot before that line moves to 7.5 tomorrow. Or whenever you watch this, try to look at the spread.
The Niners will also be wearing throwback white uniforms. Seahawks are going to have, which are my favorites, so that sucks. They're sexy highlighter yellow
I like those, yeah.
For the night game. So good uniform choices. If you're watching with someone that doesn't like football, you tell them, pick your color.
There it is. So then to wrap it up, let's boost your Thanksgiving with a Turkey Day parlay. Take all 3 of those bets we just gave you for Thanksgiving, wrap them all together, and if you put, this is the ratio, $81 wins you $500. Not a bad Thanksgiving. Pays for the turkey.
My first football parlay.
First football parlay. She's getting it done. So we're going to do it, and we're hopefully going to win that money. And I know we're going to be going over to Monkey and Brittany's house. He's going to be getting that parlay in, and if he doesn't, I'm going to make him bet it right before that first game. So there we go. Turkey Day parlay. Get it done.
Oh, God.
And we got the Miami Dolphins in a divisional game going to MetLife Stadium in New Jersey to take on the New York Jets.
Sucks.
Who are going to be led by Tim Boyle. Never heard of him? Well, there might be a reason. So, he's going to be the quarterback there. And we got to make something happen. This is really for us the last game. We could pretend like we have a shot at going to the playoffs. If you get the dub here, she wants us to get the dub.
Okay,
here.
yes. Let me explain. We know where you stand on this, and again, itty bitty amount of money. But I was very good with that Raiders. The Dolphins are frauds. They're fraudulent. They are not real. They're winning against shitty teams. They are losing tremendously against good teams, and you look at the Raiders, they just barely beat them, and the Raiders are just getting their lives together. I don't know.
You're hopeful.
Hopeful that Tim Boyle is going to pull out this is my first game, and everybody's going to be watching me magic. I don't think he'll have it after this game. But, dude, if you've got it in you, this is the time you're going to play at your own home. And I need you to squish the fish. And why not make a few bucks out of it? Because I'm also not really that concerned about the Jets anymore, taking over the division. So now I can root for you. And I want the Dolphins to be shown as to who they really, truly are.
Yeah, look, they're going up against a good Jets defense, and look, the Bills did a couple good things against them. They had a couple big plays that we let up. They're trying to make a play, so Sauce Gardner's trying to jump to get a pick. He doesn't get it. 81-yard touchdown the other way. All those things, but if the teams that have a good front seven against the Dolphins have really succeeded in disrupting that offense with that quick motion stuff, so if you saw that. You saw that, yeah, exactly, with the Bills, and you saw that also with the Raiders just now with Max Crosby, where they were getting after him. And I think that's something the Jets will do. So if they can force a turnover, and again, it might be raining. It's 47, but there's a slight chance of rain. You got to get the run game going. And also Tim Boyle, what he says he wants to do is just get the ball out of his hands and get it to the playmakers. And we might see that stuff where it's check down, punt, like after one rush in the middle. That's fine. Don't turn the ball over. Get it back to your defense, and let's try to hold these guys. So I'm hopeful, and it would be nice to get you guys, if you guys are going to go for the division lead here, if you want to be in a run with these Dolphins, you're going to need this.
Oh, we are in a run with the Dolphins. We cremated the Dolphins. I'm not worried about the Dolphins, but I want.
Well, you have a tough schedule, though.
Oh my God, our schedule sucks.
They're playing the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Chiefs. Right, and Dolphins again, right?
And then the Dolphins again, yep.
So they have a tough schedule. So you want to get a little bit of help.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I suggest taking the Jets money line for a small amount of money because it's the Black Friday football game. It's the only game on that Friday. It's this is the first time they're ever doing it. You want to make it fun? Put a few bucks on Jets money line.
Yeah,
why not?
$13 on and win you 50, something like that.
Woo woo.
All right, Jags Texans. This is actually a good game.
Yeah, so we're on Sunday now. Sunday early games. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be a good game. The Jags are on a crazy roll, and the Texans are surprising everybody. Mm-hmm. I'm leaning on the Texans on this one. They're at home, and like I said, they've been doing very well. And it would be nice for someone to shut the Jags up. Why not?
Yeah, I think that, I'm kind of leaning on the under. 48 and a half is a lot of points, and I just don't – I think that it'll be a competitive game and that they just don't get to that total. So that's where I would lean, but I'm not going to bet this one. I mean, I'm interested to see the outcome. I mean, the Jags going to come out of this 8-3?
Absolutely want to see the outcome, but you're right. I don't want to put my money on it.
No.
Who knows? Okay. So now on to the next game. We have the Bucks at the Colts. Mm-hmm. Taking the Colts. I don't really know why. Sometimes the Colts just get me. I see Mr. Noobs' face, and I'm like, I want him to have a good day. Yeah. And the Colts are at home, and we all know how I feel about the Bucks. They're not that good. They're not that good at all. But they both have the Bucks record away is 2-3. The Colts at home is 1-4. So they both really don't have good records for being away or at home and based on their situation here. Yep. So I think Colts minus 2.5. I'm actually going to put my money where my mouth is. I don't know if anybody should follow me on this one, but that's where I'm gonna do on Sunday.
I'd lead the same way too. Just it's within a field goal. They're at home. Jonathan Taylor's been playing really well, so I think you got to go there too. This is a beautiful game. New England Patriots at the New York Giants to figure out who's going to replace the two quarterbacks that are starting, which is going to be, I think, Bailey Zappi and Tommy DeVito. So it's going to be look. The under/over is 33.5. That's one of the lowest totals that they put out there this year. And that you'd think that would be a line that would come up if it's snowing or something like that. No, weather's fine. We're good. Chance of rain maybe, but it's because it's not going to be a fun game to watch.
It's funny. I just noticed the Giants have the same weather as you will be having on Friday, just days later.
Yeah, and the Eagles have the same weather too. It's all like that. It's all high 40s and maybe a little rain.
It'll be high 60s and sunny here in Las Vegas if anybody wants to come on and visit.
Yeah, so this is just a draft pick game and nobody cares, and I still lean on the under 33.5 because I think it'll be, as much as Tommy DeVito threw a few touchdowns, I don't think this is going to be a good one.
Well, maybe Jersey Juice will just dominate the Patriots because that's fun. Why not?
Yeah, but so now this is my fucking mindset now. Now I'm on the draft pick status, and I'm going, well, look, let's let the Patriots drop. I guess it's both, both of them suck.
Yeah, both of them suck.
Forget
I mean, honestly, so a lot of the Giants fans want DeVito to just tank because they don't want to be in the worst spot where it's like, I don't get the first draft pick, but I didn't have a great season. Patriots were pretty sure that Belichick isn't even going to be there next year, so who knows what that whole organization is going to look like. So I ain't worried about them next year either.
Yeah, we'll move on to something better, which is going to be the Panthers at the Titans.
I don't know. That's not better.
1-9 record versus 3-7. But I'm actually going with the Titans on this one. To me, look, they're at home. It's 3.5 points, a little more than a field goal. Which quarterback do you like better? And also, one of them has Derrick Henry. So I'm going with Will Levis and Derrick Henry. And those guys over, Bryce Young and a team that looks like they might be going for a draft pick, frankly, too. They turn the ball over, a lot of sloppy stuff, worst offense in the league. So
basically, this game is, if the Titans can't win here, you are just garbage.
I agree.
Like, we already know the Panthers are terrible, but that's them. You can't lose to the Panthers. No one is allowed to lose to the Panthers. It's insane.
I agree. Yep. So I'm on it.
All right, then we have the Steelers at the Bengals. I mean, now it used to be fun games, but Joe Burrow's out, so Bengals, we're not really sure what kind of team you have with this new backup quarterback that, is not Joe Burrow. Steelers making some moves. They might be on their high horse a little bit. Like, I mean, you learned with
Brady.
But Joe Brady. But I was also going to say the Raiders too. You got both teams, one after another, are making crazy changes, and they crush it their first game after those changes are made. Maybe the same thing will happen with the Steelers. So but again, the shitty thing here is if they do go nuts and they're like so good, it's like, well, okay, but you're playing against the Bengals without Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So you have to give it a few weeks.
The guy Browning, he looked pretty solid in relief. So maybe with a week of practice, but I just don't want to touch the game because of that. It's like one of these away games, divisional and all that.
I agree. All right, then we have the Saints at the Falcons. I'm taking the Falcons on this one. Apparently, I'm with a lot of the public. Falcons are at home. They've been looking pretty good. They've been looking much better than they have in the past. Sure. And the Saints, Carr is questionable. He also hasn't been doing that great. It's a close situation with these two teams. But I think, Falcons being at home and they're kind of like on the up a little bit right now. I'm taking them at +1. That's
right. And for the Saints, Michael Thomas was put on injured reserve. He's got a knee problem too. So that's a weapon that's gone for them, which is definitely in favor of the Falcons for them not having him. So I'm going to just stay away from it. I was thinking, I was leaning towards the Saints, and it was like, Jameis Winston. He's always like, I want to get Jameis Winston involved. Fun guy to watch, just throwing picks, touchdowns, picks and touchdowns. He's like, Anyway, we'll move on.
Let's go Falcons.
Rams at the Cardinals. I mean, look, this is the one where we talked about it before. Nakua and Kupp are questionable here. If you get them both out, I mean, that's bad.
You have nothing. You have no team.
No, they're coming off the Rams coming off a close win versus the Seahawks, who I don't think they're that good, right? And then the Cardinals played the Texans pretty tight. They got
Texans
Kyler Murray.
Are good.
But both of those last games for the Rams game and the Cardinals game were pretty low, and the defenses hung in there. I'm betting on the under on this one, 44.5. I kind of feel this is a 2017 type of game, so I'm gonna go there.
I lean on that. Also, I hate betting the under. It's boring. Boring. And then we have the Broncos at the Browns at the Broncos. I hate the Broncos for my own personal reasons, but I don't know. They're at home. Yep, they're looking better, which sucks. The Browns don't look too bad with the situation that they're in, not having Watson anymore. Their defense is solid. That's why I don't want to put my money on the Broncos. The Broncos are also at home, so I would lean towards them. I just really don't want to give them any of my time or money.
Yeah, look, the Broncos' offense has been looking good. The question is, how are they going to look against that really good Browns defense? So, yeah, I agree with you here. Small spread, it's a pick 'em. Mm-hmm. You think the momentum here is with the Broncos at home. And, frankly, both in the AFC, who do you want? I mean, you probably really want the Broncos to win in this game anyway, because you want the Browns to have a worse record in case it's the wild card. Because if you think the Ravens are going to win that division, you're in a wild card fight with them, right? So, you probably want the Broncos to win.
Stupid Broncos.
Ooh. Next game. Big game. This one should have been flexed into one of the prime times, shouldn't it have? Can't they do it?
I should always be flexed into primetime games, except I do watching my team on Sunday as opposed to other days. But
true. Bills at the Eagles.
The Bills, man, they looked glorious against the Jets, but people are going to say it's the Jets. The Jets are terrible. But then if you talk to him, the Jets were the team that beat the Eagles, which is insane.
True statement.
So I am nervous. I mean, all Buffalo people should be nervous about this game. I don't think anybody is thinking, oh, yeah, this is surefire win. It's going to be a good game. I suggest everybody watch it because, come on now. But I don't know. We're on point. Josh Allen said in the middle of the Bills game versus the Jets, I feel like I'm fucking back. Like the whole team feels like that. They're happy with Brady right now. They hopefully have this mojo, and it wasn't just because they were doing well at home against the Jets. It is shitty they have to go to the Eagles, but I know my fans, they travel, and that is not a far trip. There will be a decent number there. Come on, guys. Show the world who we are. We need this. Let's go, Buffalo. Hey. Need to do this win. It would shut everybody up. And, the Eagles, they're good. Just know that they're going to do the stupid fucking tush push a couple times. Try to stop that from happening. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I'm nervous. Definitely nervous. I'll be pooping my pants.
One thing that's weird here, which is 75% of the public is on the Bills here, right? So, which I get it. I'm betting them. I'm great. On the Bills, right?
I love you guys.
The weird thing here is that the sportsbook, the line opened at 3. It's now 3.5. So the line opens at 3. The public puts their money on the Bills, which you would think would bring the line down to minus 2.5. Instead, they move it to 3.5. A lot of times what happens is the sportsbooks try to entice the public, keep adding more money and betting more on the Bills because they think the Eagles are going to win and cover it. I'm just telling you that. Look, I'd be happy to walk away.
I like how he hasn't mentioned this at all until right now while we're on this podcast because that's what he does.
I'm just saying that doesn't mean that's the sportsbook loses. That's what they probably think.
Sportsbook doesn't really lose that often. We were learning that. That's how the sportsbook is the sportsbook.
They take a lot of data and a lot of algorithms to determine what spreads are, and they do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, do they recognize the way a player's attitude is and his confidence level and things that you can't really put into data form? I don't really think so. So, I think this one's going to be a Bills outright win. I might even add a little bit to the money line on this one instead of doing the 3.5 because I don't think they're just going to lose by 1 and then I win.
Oh, no, they don't do that. They either win.
Yeah, they're either going to win by 10 or they're going to lose by 15 or whatever.
They crush it in both ways. Both wins and losses. But come on, Bills. I have to put this out there. This is a hard game. We're all very nervous. I'm not, I don't want to say this is going to be a miracle win because you guys are great. Just keep that same attitude you had this weekend. And I know you got to go to the damn Eagles because then you got to go to the damn Chiefs. We got to be able to play on the road. None of the Chiefs have not had to go anywhere difficult. That's just how it goes all the time for them. But let's show these teams how much better we are, and then the Cowboys have to come to us. Oh, that should be a good game. So get this win out there. We need it. That's it. I will end that. I want to rant so much. I love you, Josh Allen.
All right, next up, divisional game, Kansas City Chiefs versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And look, the spread's big here. It is 9. I'll edit that. 9-point spread here in favor of the Chiefs on the road in a divisional game is a lot. Antonio Pierce, the head coach or the interim head coach of the Raiders, came out and said, look, we need the fans to come out big time. They want, I think what they call it was the black hole, let's get the black hole going or whatever. You know, I kind of lean here for the cover. This is the type of a game where we've seen, you know, Mahomes and them where they just, you know, they'll win by 6 or 3. So I think that 9-point spread is too much.
Well, I do want to interject though. They haven't been winning by that much. That was always the case with them. This season, they're not catching balls.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Every game you watch, there's one receiver who's just got butterfingers the entire game.
Tough.
Travis Kelce was it last weekend. You know, and he again limped off the field, but then came back out. I mean, it seems like he's permanently hurt, but is just trying to fight through it. The Raiders definitely have a shot here because the Chiefs are not that good.
Yeah, it's like I'll never feel bad for Mahomes with making a couple $100 million, but in some ways I was like, oh, dude, he puts a deep ball on Scantling, whatever, drops the thing, and then he gets it's a couple more passes, and it's just like, what more do you want this guy to do? Mm-hmm. It was like a 4th and fucking 20. He puts the ball right in the guy's hands, and he drops it at the end of the game, and it's just like, you know, he's going to the press conference after going, what am I? We got to catch some of those, you know, tough one.
Don't feel bad though.
No, I don't. Bad. But that's some of the reasons why you can't. You know, if you can't move on 3rd down and guys aren't catching the ball for you, then it's not going to work. So maybe, you know, Taylor Swift is in Kelsey's head too much. He's thinking about, should I be in Argentina? Should I at her concert? Did she text me? So
there's a good shot that these Chiefs will lose, and I'm very excited to do the same thing to them. I just am disappointed that I have to go to their house for the 8th time in a row because the NFL is biased and rigged. All right, moving on. I've said enough about that. Let's go Raiders. We've got the Ravens at the Chargers. This is my lock of the week. Ravens minus 3.5. Yes, they have to travel across the country. Chargers are terrible. Chargers are not good. Mark Andrews is out, you know, for the rest of the season. Well, possibly he might make it to the postseason, but he's definitely out for the regular season. But that's not going to make a huge deal. We do see that Odell got hurt during the last game.
Yep.
But he's not out yet.
They said he'll play. I think it seems like he'll play.
But I was also, when we were talking about this, you know, Odell wasn't doing much up until the last 2 games. Mm-hmm. So, and the Ravens have still been dominating. So it's not like the Odell show. I think if he's not up to it, they'll still be fine. I mean, Mark Andrews is a huge aspect to their team, but I think overall the Ravens they're the stronger team between these two for sure. You know, maybe if we're talking about Ravens versus Dolphins or Ravens versus, I don't know, Eagles, then I might step back a little bit because of those injuries or possible injuries with Odell. But right now, I think 3.5 is an easy cover spread for them. And you know, Herbert's just getting beat. His O-line is not doing what they need to do, and I think he's just struggling, and you can only get beat so much before you're not making the plays that you want to make anymore. So I'm going Ravens. That's what I have to say about that.
Yeah, and on top of like their defense is not only is their offense good, but their defense is so good. Yeah. So it's too much for them. I mean, like this is one where I have a decent amount of money on it too, so it's almost into lock territory as well. So I get why you're on the lock on that one for sure.
Oh, and my lock of the week worked out last week, so I'm no longer the lock mush.
No more lock mush.
No more lock mush. Now, am I picking the most obvious ones lately because I used to pick fun ones? Yes. until give me another couple, and then maybe I'll start picking the fun ones, the less obvious ones. But right now, I'm taking the obvious ones.
Take the obvious ones. That's Sunday Night Football, and now on to Monday Night Football, a game that debatably could be flexed out of this one, but it's the Bears at the Vikings. So, you know, 85% of the public is oddly on the Bears here at plus 3.5 points. I don't really understand that. I don't get what they're thinking on that
Justin
one.
Fields, I just think
I don't know.
He's great. I have no idea. But
no, I don't think so.
Even the Vikings losing everything that they've lost, you know, this season, they're still doing well. Like,
yeah, I think Josh Dobbs is fucking just really impressive. Mm-hmm. And the fact that he's able to get these guys wins and into the right situations is just unbelievable.
And I always love, when you're at home, I feel like that it's such a huge advantage, especially with certain, more so with certain teams. Chargers, Rams, they don't really have a fan base, but Vikings, Bills, Eagles, they're all strong hometown teams, and I think that's another reason why I'm going Vikings on this one. They should definitely get a win here.
Yep, I'm in on it too. And that's Monday Night Football, and that is really what it is for the week here. So let's just roll real quickly through. A lot of these games we're both on it, right? So we don't have a lot of ones where we're individually, but just starting out for the Thanksgiving, Lions -7.5. Commanders plus that 13.5 points. Then we're going to go Niners, which is my lock of the week. They're going to be too much. And don't forget, we're going to do a parlay for all those three. $80 wins you 500. So we're going to have fun with that one. And then Black Friday, you're up.
I didn't think I would say this at this point, but I'm happy to say it. I'm taking Jets money line, a little bit itty bitty bit of money, but I want the Jets to somehow find a way to really prove to the world how fraudulent the Dolphins are. Sorry, Moose, but it's got to be told to the world. Go Jets. Go Tim Boyle.
We didn't even talk about this. The Hard Knocks. I watched it the other day. In-season Hard Knocks. The Dolphins are on it. I'll be honest with you. I thought maybe I liked Mike McDaniels. I don't like the guy at all. He sucks. And it's I just hate him as a person. I just really do. I just can't stand the guy. And I think he's too cool for school because he got fucking Tyreek Hill. It's all right, relax, guy. Anyway.
You feel better now?
Yeah, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that means the Jets are definitely going to cover that money line spread.
if they weren't putting up 500 yards of offense, his little shtick would be not cool anymore.
Oh, absolutely.
He'd be how do you have this little tiny weenie guy talking to these big giant players and be like, hey, what's up, bro? He's got a lisp, sounds like freaking Napoleon Dynamite. I just can't do it. Can't do it.
All right. Well, maybe we should all tune into all the Dolphins haters tune into Hard Knocks.
Yep.
I'm also taking a side away from Josh. Josh is not taking this. Colts -2.5 versus Bucks. I just got a feeling. That's all I can say. I think the Colts are the better team at this case, and they're at home, so I'm going with them.
Yep. I'm on the Titans. Just picking Will Levis and Derrick Henry against a Bryce Young terrible offensive team. So I'm going with those Titans.
And then I'm taking the Falcons at +1 versus the Saints. The Saints haven't been doing that well, in my opinion. The Carr is questionable. Falcons have been on the up and up, and they're at home, so I'm taking them at +1.
Yeah, I'm on under 44.5 points for the Rams-Cardinals game. You got Nakua and Kupp, questionable both, so not healthy on the Rams receiving front. Both the Cardinals game and the Rams game that played last week were lower scoring games, and the defenses are playing pretty well. So I'm going to go for that under 44.5. And then I'm going to take her team, the Bills. I just think this is one where, I mentioned it last week saying that when Philly, you have a plus in front of Philly, you kind of feel like you got to take it. Well, this is one where you don't see the Bills that have a plus in front of them where they're dogs, and the line moves to 3.5, and I really like that one. I think the Bills on the up and up. Probably a little biased because they beat the shit out of the Jets, so I probably think that they're one of the best teams to ever live. And also that we beat the Eagles. That's the only loss that they have. If you forgot, so I'm gonna go with the Bills to beat the Eagles.
And then we're both on the Ravens -3.5 versus the Chargers. The Ravens is my lock of the week. The Ravens are the better team. The Chargers are not that good. Herbert is just getting beat down. That's going to affect him. Even though the Ravens have to travel to the Chargers, I don't think that's going to make a difference. And we'll see. Maybe Odell will be in. Maybe he won't. I still think the Ravens are a better team.
Yep. And we're both on the Vikings, -3.5 points behind Josh Dobbs, getting those boys going at home, -3.5. It's fine against the Bears. It's fine. They're not that good. Okay? Yeah. Like Justin Fields, whoop-de-doo. Don't care. Take them at home. Probably going to win by 10.
That is what we're betting.
That's it, folks. So, look.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm going to edit this and get it out so you have it Wednesday night. You can place all those Thanksgiving bets. And, hopefully you're all having fun with your families and being safe out there. A lot of weird stuff going on in this world, so stay safe and travels and all those other things that you're doing out there. Yeah.
All right. Go Bills, beat the Eagles.
That's it.
Couple of bettors.
By the way, Jets are wearing these jerseys. Come on. Black Friday, let's go.
Fine. I got you money line. Go ahead.
I want to make money.
Speaking of which.